Whoa! What's going on, guys? So it is a gloomy but kind of warm leg day here on Long Island, baby. We're feeling good, feeling strong, I guess. Got all my meals in yesterday, but still fighting that chronic nausea, and we're trying to figure out the cause. I'm thinking a part of it is dehydration. Now, it would explain a lot because I eat totally clean, no processed food, any of that junk. My organs are fine, and it always gets a lot worse when I'm taking some form of supplements that you take orally. Now, those hit your kidneys a little bit harder and you need more water. And when I was taking them, I would never up my water. So if I'm not taking enough liquids, not enough water on a regular daily basis, then, those days, especially when I was on that stuff, you're really not going to feel good. To put it into perspective, I've always assumed I needed a gallon of water a day, right? And to tell you the truth, I've been slacking on that. Not once in a while, but for a really, really long time. To where, not that I couldn't put it down, I guess the nausea didn't help me put it down, because I didn't want to put anything in my stomach, so it was kind of a catch-22 situation. But I'd be getting in maybe just over a half a gallon a day. So I was looking up at, the average bodybuilder needs about a gallon of water a day, about 3-point-something liters, right? And I'm looking up, I'm like, but I'm not like the average bodybuilder working out. I'm pretty big, right? I'm not the average NPC competitor. So I'm seeing, I'm like, and I was trying to find videos on some of the bigger guys, the Olympia guys, IFBB pros that have been on it and they're seasoned guys. And I'm seeing, I'm like, just trying to find videos on them and their water intake. I looked up a video of Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie's like, yeah, I was drinking 2 to 3 gallons a day. But Ronnie Coleman was, believe it or not, a lot bigger than I am. Shocking, I know. And, dude, guys, fucking, he had 60 pounds of muscle on me from where I'm at right now. But he was up to 3 gallons a day. But he also lived in Texas where he was sweating up a storm when he was a cop. And he would do his... Dude was an animal. So 3 gallons I know is too much. But when I was getting ready for my nose surgery last year, they said my hemocretin levels were too high. I believe it was my hemocretin. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's just a fancy way to say your blood is too thick. Which would explain why if I get a cut, it clots up pretty quickly. In a good way. But causing it to be thicker, right? Now, to get ready for my surgery, to get those levels where I needed them to get like the approval, yep, John, we can operate on you. I was drinking 3 gallons of water a day for about a week straight. And I really didn't have a lot of nausea going around then like I do now to begin with, but I remember feeling pretty good. I was pissing all day, but I remember feeling pretty good. So yesterday we had a little over a half gallon before I started watching everything and learning. So the rest of that night I killed the rest of a gallon, so I got 1 gallon of me yesterday, and a little bit from like an electrolyte drink. But let's just say a gallon and change. Today we're going to and I would usually have maybe a quarter gallon before I get to the gym, which I know isn't enough. I know it's not enough, but I'm working on it. So right now we're heading to the gym now to train. We have a very rushed leg day coming in because I have to be on a podcast in 3 hours. Yeah, it's like 11 o'clock right now. We're going to be on there at 2. So we have 2 hours to smash legs, which we can do it. Go home, shower, hop on the podcast. I'm down a little over half a gallon already. So by 11 a.m., I've killed more than what I used to kill all day long, which is great. Put a little sodium in the water too. I think I put a little too much salt because it's not that it tastes bad, it tastes fine. But I don't think my sodium was the problem. I think it was just the water. I was getting plenty of electrolytes in elsewhere, and the salt with my food, and so on and so forth. So we're figuring out that necessary ratio, if you will. But we'll have the rest of this gallon killed by, I don't know, 3 o'clock. And then 3 o'clock until about 10 is usually when I go to bed, around 10 o'clock. Sometimes a little earlier if I can. I'm going to kill another gallon. So we'll get 2 gallons in today, and we're going to maintain that for a little bit and see how we feel. You know, that's kind of all we can do. It's a big game of trial and error right now, and, you know, that's something that I haven't really... But I was looking at other videos of, like, other pro bodybuilders, so on and so forth, and they're like, yeah, you know, an average bodybuilder, and this guy was not a top-level pro, but he was a pro. And not that I take pros as any scientific anomalies, if you will, but I know these guys are eating like animals, and they're not nauseous all day. So, good enough for me, right? To see what are they doing that I'm not doing, because I know they're not out eating me. I eat like an animal. So it wasn't that. I know that they're not eating cleaner than me, because I eat clean all day. So I couldn't eat cleaner. Besides the chocolate syrup in my egg whites, but I know that's not the problem, because I've cut it out before and I still had an issue, right? He was saying he'll drink anywhere from about, let's just say like an average bodybuilder, somewhat about my weight, I guess you could say. It's probably what he was referring to, or a little bit bigger. Like, minimum, I should be getting at about 6 liters a day, which is, you know, a gallon is 3.2 liters, I want to say. So let's just say just under 2 gallons, which, and a bigger guy like him, he's like, yeah, you know, you should be getting like 8 liters a day. So that's really 2.5 gallons, let's say. Now, I think for what I'm going through, 2 gallons is going to be all right. And I'm not going to jump by adding a gallon. I'm not going to quadruple my water intake in a day, because you're not going to feel good. Well, I'm gonna, but, you know, you shouldn't. But I know I needed it. So today we're going to do 2 gallons, which we're usually doing about a half a gallon, so 4 times as much. And that should put me around 6. I hope, at least. After doing that for a couple days, I begin to see the nausea mitigate a little bit, because it's not going to clear up overnight. And I know that, and I've accepted it, because I just want to make sure this guy saw me. There's as you see, a bulldozer. And I saw he had mirrors, so he waved me on. I'm like, all right, I'm good. That's the last thing you want hitting your car, right? Where was I? Water, not feeling good, right? Tell you exactly what's going on. Now, in theory, help heal our kidneys a little bit. I don't have any of my size, eating the way I eat, doing the things I do. I know my kidneys are working. Oh, I just got such a lucky parking spot. Are working a little harder than the average person, and that's putting it mildly. So we're going to need some time to let them heal up, but they'll heal up quick because I'm not doing anything else really to harm them, you know what I mean? And then once that nausea goes away, we'll try to play with some stuff that'll help me grow, some oral supplements, and see how it goes. If the nausea comes back in right away, maybe it was something else, but when I start that stuff, I'm probably going to up it to 3 gallons a day. On the assumption 2 gallons a day fixes the nausea. So that's where we're at right now. That's what I'm thinking, and, you know, I'm praying, man, that's the answer, because that's a simple answer, of the only thing I can really think of that I'm doing wrong as an athlete. You know, nobody's perfect, but when you have a consistent problem and you're trying to figure out where the issue lies, you have to look at what you do on a daily basis and say, how is that affecting things? So for me, that's clearly my water intake. But I never really chalked it up to that because I didn't realize how off I was. When I was looking at, I should be drinking a gallon a day, but I'm under it by about half. And I drink an electrolyte drink during the day, so I'm like, I'm under it about, let's say, a little less than three quarters I'd be drinking in the day. So I didn't think much of it until I was looking at, hold on a second, I'm not just a regular bodybuilder that's 200 pounds. I'm 250 pounds. And as I got bigger, it got worse. So it was telling me my body drastically did something wrong. I don't know, man. If you guys have any ideas, you let me know. But that's the game plan right now. I'm seeing my ENT next week because all my nausea is always right in my throat. So I wasn't going to see a gastro guy because my stomach feels fine all day. You know, just I'll get nausea like right in here. You know that second where you're about to throw up and it's in your throat and you're like, all right, I've accepted. Let's go get this out of us. Whenever I get any nausea, that's what happens. I immediately jumps right to that stage where I'm like, oh, I can do this right now if I want to. And I have to sit there and calm myself down for, sometimes an hour of just trying to relax, fight nausea, slow breathing. If I were to cough, I would try to fight it back down. But that's what I'm thinking, man. So, anyway, we're here to train a rapid speed leg day. I'm excited that I can finally play with the open season of the new gym because when I was in here yesterday, it was awesome. It was looking really cool. Nice and spaced out. I'm sure that's not going to stay like that forever because they always get more equipment, which is great. But for right now, I'm going to enjoy it, baby. So on that note, let's slam this pre-workout. And that's another thing. I have a decent amount of caffeine in my life. Nothing crazy. There's people that do far more than me, but they're not as big as I am. So they wouldn't need the water, but caffeine dehydrates you a little bit. Makes sense. So on that note, applied nutrition, we have 2 scoops Tiger's Blood Pump, 1 scoop Cherry Cola Stim, 1 scoop of the creatine plus their peptide blend. Mixed up in there, shooken up. There's about, that much water in there. I just kind of put a little bit in there to liquefy it so I can slam it. So listen for the pop. You love the pop. Ooh, baby. And cheers, my friends. Boom, boom. Once again, we're powered by a lot of food, caffeine, nicotine, and a fucking dream, baby. I'll see you inside.